You're recording.
Not yet. I will be.
Wait.
Everyone ready?
Yep.
Hang on. Get rid of that. Oops. Go away. I'm gonna look up here. Okay. Oh. Nice one, Stephen. Now we've all got no Ella. Ella. Maybe move in a bit.
Oh.
Yeah. As long as you have an arm there. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna have to say my name. Alright. Everyone ready? Hello, this is Julie Savage. The assignment is Assignment 1 Training Presentation for the Implement and Monitor Work Health Safety Policies, Procedures and Programs to meet legislative requirements. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to City Stores. I'm Julie Savage. I'm the HR advisor here, and it's my pleasure to present to you our Work Health and Safety induction. I know this subject can be quite dry, but I'll do my best to keep you from falling asleep. To keep up your enthusiasm, we'll do a short quiz at the end, and if you're lucky enough, you'll win a prize. Today's presentation will include an overview of the Occupational Safety and Health Act, or OSHA for short, and what it means to city stores, the code we follow when it comes to manual tasks, how we manage risks at city stores, what we need to do in an emergency, how we report on incidents and manage investigations, our hierarchy of control, and lastly, where you can find all our company policies and procedures. The purpose of the Occupational Health and Safety Act is to promote and improve standards for occupational safety and health. It established the Commission for Occupational Safety and Health, which is the driving force behind WA's workplace safety laws, policies and programs. The Act also provides for a tribunal to facilitate the administration of the laws relating to occupational safety and health, and to assist in the resolution of certain safety issues under the Act. Section 19 of the Act details the parties involved in work health and safety. They are employers, which are organisations or businesses like city stores, and supervisors, who are employees that oversee the work of others. They share the same responsibilities as employers. Section 20 refers to employees as anyone directly employed or working as an employee or contractor. It also includes visitors, volunteers and work experience students. Section 19 also sets out the responsibilities that employers have under the Act. These include providing a safe, hazardous-free workplace, to provide training, instructions and supervision to help you work in a safe manner that doesn't expose you to hazards, to consult with employees and safety representatives, to provide protective clothing and equipment, and to arrange for the safe cleaning and disposal of hazardous substances. And what of the role of you, the employee? Duty of care is not limited to the employers and supervisors alone. Section 20 sets out your responsibilities. Employees are responsible for their own safety by working safely and not harming others, by following instructions, using corrective protective clothing, reporting hazards and injuries, and cooperation with employers when required to perform safety tasks. Employees also have the right to raise concerns if they feel unsafe, by contacting the safety committee or even progressing to work safe in more serious matters. You also have the right to stop work if you feel unsafe or if there is imminent threat to yourself or others around you. Alongside the Act, there is a code of practice that we refer to for manual tasks. A code of practice provides practical guidance on how to comply with general or specific duties under Western Australian occupational safety and health laws. It provides explanatory information, recommendations for best practice, or references to occupational safety and health laws. Whilst we must comply with the underlying occupational safety and health laws, the preventative strategies outlined do not represent the only acceptable means of achieving a certain standard. A code of practice does not have the same legal force as a regulation and is not sufficient reason alone for prosecution under the Act. What does this all mean for city stores? Part of the work involved at City Stores is the performing of manual tasks. Restocking shelves, moving shop displays and general workplace setup can all present risks from time to time. The code provides guidelines to identify and manage these risks. Further instruction and information will be provided to you as you engage in specific tasks in order to minimise the risk of injury. But everybody has a responsibility to contribute to the identification and minimisation of risks in the workplace. So if you see something that is potentially unsafe, raise the issue with your supervisor as soon as you can. Here are some examples of correct manual handling and safe work practices. Be sure to always bend your knees when lifting heavy items. If it's too heavy, use a trolley. Make sure all loose cables are tied up and no trip hazards are evident. And be mindful of the hot water tap in the kitchen. It's basically straight boiling water. Personally, I've been distracted and have burnt my hands, so pay attention when making a cuppa. Okay, ladies? Sorry. Over to ergonomic health. Remember to assess your workstation as you don't want to end up with bad backs or sore wrists. We have an ergonomic assessor who can come around and assess your stations, so you should book in a time for her to come and see you. These are reminders of good housekeeping to avoid accidents. It's always a good idea to hold on to handrails going up and down the stairs. I know of at least 2 occasions of people falling up and down the stairs, both resulting in broken arms. Performing manual tasks is an essential part of our job here at City Stores, so much so that we have a risk management process. Managing the risks associated with performing manual tasks requires systematically identifying the hazards, assessing the risk, and controlling the risk. We all want to make it home at the end of the day, and therefore it's paramount that we ensure we have a safe working environment. City Stores has a policy to manage all these risks. The aim of this policy is not to eliminate risk, rather to manage the risks involved in all company activities to maximise opportunities and minimise adversity. Risk management is the culture, processes and structures that are directed towards the effective management of potential opportunities and adverse effects within the City Stores environment. Risk is inherent in all business activities and every employee continuously manages risk. Everyone has responsibilities under the risk management policy. Management is ultimately accountable for the implementation and maintenance of sound risk management practices. Employees are also required to follow the risk management practices within their areas. City Stores will maintain procedures to address and manage risks faced in the course of our day-to-day work. This requires us to establish a strategic, organisational and risk management context and the structure of the risk analysis defined, identify risks as to what, why and how events arise as the basis for further analysis, analyse risks. The analysis should consider the range of potential consequences and how likely those consequences are to occur. Evaluate the risks to enable them to be ranked and prioritised. Treat risks to develop and implement specific risk management plans for high risks. Low risks may be accepted as unavoidable and monitored appropriately. Monitor and review the risk management system. Monitoring and reviewing occurs concurrently throughout the risk management process. Communication and consultation with employees and external stakeholders should occur at each stage of the risk management process, as well as the process as a whole. Similar to the Code of Practice, there is also a guidance note issued by the Commission for Occupational Health and Safety on preparing for emergency evacuation at the workplace. There are additional legislative requirements in the OSHA regulations to be considered in conjunction with the OSHA. These include ensuring there is an evacuation procedure in place to protect anyone on the premises in the event of an emergency, as well as a general duty of care obligation to ensure that preparations have taken place for potential emergencies that might occur. This includes identifying potential hazards that might arise because of an emergency and ensuring that employees will not be exposed to them. Emergency evacuation drills will be held at least once a year here at City Stores. Emergencies can occur at any time for a variety of reasons. City Stores has an emergency evacuation policy, and it is your responsibility to familiarise yourself with it and to follow all instructions in the event of an emergency. Remember that you're responsible for your own and others' safety. Always make sure it's safe before taking action in an emergency. Familiarise yourself with the fire wardens in your department. They are the ones responsible for a safe and orderly evacuation. And in an emergency, dial 000 and then contact security on the number here. In an emergency situation, alarms will sound. There are two distinctly different alarm tones, and you'll need to know the difference between them. Firstly, you have the alert tone. This means you are to remain where you are and wait for further instruction. And the other means it's time to evacuate. It's important to know the evacuation plan for your floor. Evacuation route plans such as this are located on each floor near the lifts. When evacuating, it's important to walk in a calm and orderly manner. Only evacuate when instructed or safe to do so. Never use a lift in an emergency. Descend stairs in single file, always holding onto the handrail. Don't take drinks or water bottles, and try to keep the noise down. Once you have made it out of the building, you are to assemble in the park directly across the road and stay there until directed otherwise. That's it there on the plan for you. Okay, now to accident investigation and reporting. It is a City Stores company requirement that accidents, incidents and near-miss reports are completed in all cases without exception. Unsafe or unhealthy work conditions, practices, issues or equipment will be corrected in a timely manner as determined by the severity of the hazard or issue. Where a hazard exists, corrective action shall be undertaken immediately, utilising the hierarchy of control, which I shall go into detail further shortly. As you can see, there are many acts, policies and forms that contribute to this policy. Under this policy, management have a responsibility to keep you safe. Managers must ensure that employees work safely and that all accident and injuries are reported and investigated. The Safety Committee is to investigate and report all issues in a timely and fair manner. The Director of HR is to remind them of their responsibilities, and remember that you also have an obligation to report any situation that you believe can cause harm. There is a handy flowchart that sets out our procedure for accidents, incidents and near misses. Firstly, an event occurs, then a form is completed. This goes to HR or the Safety Committee, where an investigation is undertaken, which results in steps being identified and taken to prevent reoccurrence, and a manager's report is completed and given to the Safety Committee. All incidents and near misses must be reported immediately. Please be assured that there are no consequences for reporting. So if you're ever in doubt, just report anything you feel uneasy about. Once reported, your supervisor will log the incident into our online reporting system. Investigations will be carried out for all incidents. If you're a supervisor, you'll be provided training in this system. Same goes for any hazards you might come across. Once again, I'll reiterate that there are no consequences for reporting. It's very important that you remove and report any hazards to prevent harm to your fellow workers. In front of you, you'll see the hazard card that we use here at City Stores. Once completed, please drop in the box located at the concierge station on the ground floor. You'll find spare blank cards located throughout the store. As mentioned earlier, we manage hazards here at City Stores by using the hierarchy of control, which range from most to least effective. The most effective way to control a hazard is simply to eliminate it or remove the risk entirely. Next, you substitute a safer process or material for the hazardous process or material identified. An example of this would be to replace a solvent-based paint with a water-based paint. Thirdly, you have engineering controls, which involve changing a design or adding a physical safety feature to potentially dangerous equipment. Next, you have the administrative controls, which could be establishing systems or amending systems in order to control the risk. This can include the introduction of maintenance schedules or job rotation to limit the exposure time to hazards, perhaps also by providing further specific training. The last line of defence is the use of personal protective equipment, such as protective clothing. Obviously, you want to operate at the top end of this pyramid. Okay, so all our policies and procedures are located on our intranet. We call the intranet the Mark. You can navigate here to the HSE homepage and select the HSE procedures. You'll find all the policies referred to in this presentation, as well as numerous others that may interest you. So that's the work health and safety induction. Anyone have any questions? Ella, Dina?
No, that was very thorough.
Thank you. Well, now's the fun time with the quiz. Yay! This was going to be animated, but we can't have animation in the presentation. So, tell me, ladies, where do we keep our company policies and procedures?
On the Mark.
Yes. Well done, Ella. Oh, lolly for you. Secondly, know 2 things you can do to keep your areas safe.
Make sure all cords are covered.
General housekeeping, closing drawers.
Very good. You can have half a lolly. Number 3, where do we assemble in an emergency?
Outside on Loftus at the front.
Yes, correct. And lastly, what should be the last line of defence when controlling hazards?
PPE.
Well done, ladies. Thanks for your attention, and go forth and have a safe day.
Thank you.
That's it.